Welcome back. We've got another football episode for you here. It took a week off for basketball, but we're back with some more football with the Great American Youth content. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I would say we're recapping 2 weeks of fantasy football, but we're just going to be talking about 1 week of NFL news. And the biggest thing for us was, the first story and probably the biggest thing, injury news. The Vikings won, but they lost starting quarterback Kirk Cousins, our former guy, our captain, Captain Kirk. He went down to an
You like
Achilles.
that?
His Achilles doesn't like that right now, and
It doesn't.
he's going to have to go into surgery. He's out for the year. Vikings, are still looking to compete. They beat Green Bay this weekend. They traded for Josh Dobbs earlier today. So, still looking to win games, I guess, in some capacity, but not looking good for them in terms of the trajectory of their season. And fantasy-wise for Justin Jefferson, as a Justin Jefferson owner, this is very disappointing for me. I was trying to shop Justin Jefferson a little bit. I was trying to make something happen there, and I feel like this hurts
It's going
his
to be tough
value
now.
pretty significantly. Like, I think I'm going to have to hang on to him. So it's rough for the Vikings in real life and as a fantasy owner if you're holding on to Justin Jefferson or anyone in that offense. Rough for Vikings all around.
Yeah. Well, talking about rough over there, something good on the Panthers side. Kind of rare this season. They got a dub. Eddie Pinheiro knocked in the winning field goal. Huge for him. Obviously, double doink guy. So good to bounce back from that. But Panthers on the score in the win column. Not many people would have assumed that. So
yeah, I would say real bottom feeder matchup between them and the Texans. Something I feel this is
pretty
like a
much.
very Alex versus Matt type matchup here. Something
Oh yeah. Fantasy
very,
really.
fantasy type, analogy there. But I feel like, good for the Panthers that they got their win. Bryce Young, he's been all right this year, but getting them on the W column is, it's good for them all around, I guess.
Oh yeah. And then Tyreek. I mean, he said it himself. Like he's literally speaking it into existence this season. So
Called his shot.
called his shot. That man is he's a player. I think he's going to get to 2K. He's already at over 1,000. He just had a bad week. I mean, coming off a bad week for him is a great week for any other receiver.
88 yards and a touchdown.
Unreal.
11 receptions. Bad week. No.
See, that would be my number 2 receiver. Easily. Number 1 receiver. Easily.
Number 1.
What am I saying? What am I saying? Crazy. I mean, dude's just on one this season, and I'm kind of excited to see what he does to the Chiefs this week.
I know.
Because it's his first time playing them, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went for 200. I'm just putting it out there.
You're calling it?
I wouldn't be surprised if he got close to 2K this game. Not trying to scare the Chiefs over there, but he wants revenge, I'm sure.
Yeah, going into, I guess, just Commanders specific news. 2 weeks to go over here. We lost both of them. Not really great. The Giants game.
Not much to talk about here.
Yeah, Giants game, real stinker. 14-7. Awful there. The Eagles game, much better though. Howell had a great game. The offense was moving. We did great in the first half, and then we sold A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown had a ridiculous performance. Jalen Hurts and them, they turned it up in the second half of the game, and just, really disappointing to end up losing that game when winning it would have meant so much for our season.
And as you said, we sold the game. We ended up selling two of our best defensive linemen right after the game, the day after, right before the trade deadline. Bye Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Chase Young one pisses me off. I'm not going to get into this now. Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's all I need to say. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yes, he's been injured the last 2 years, but is that really enough to trade him away?
For a third-round pick.
Maybe we wouldn't have been able to sign him, but for a third-round pick, that's the other thing.
For a third-round pick from, the best team from, a team that probably is going to win
essentially
the
a fourth-round pick.
Yeah.
We basically got a first-round pick for Sweat, a late first-round pick, and we got a fourth for Chase Young. I can't. No more. I don't even need to say anything else about that. Like
You know,
that's just
maybe
it says enough right there.
maybe with the new ownership, trust the process. Josh Harris, he worked with the 76ers. Maybe he's trying to build up here. Maybe we just got to trust. Maybe they're going to, they're going to sell or they're going to trade Jonathan Allen and De'Aaron Payne over the offseason too. Terry's going to go. We're just going to rip down the whole roster and trade and draft everyone. We're going to be the OKC of the NFL. That's what's going to
happen. I wouldn't be upset with that if we're getting all these picks, but I mean, the Thunder racked up a ton of picks. We just got a third round pick. Basically a fourth round pick.
We're just going to have all the fourth round. If we have all the fourth rounders, eventually.
Then we'll be close to the Thunder. In relation, like not even the same thing. But anyways, let's get out of that and go into the fantasy world. It'll make me happier if we got into this.
Well,
I'm sure you too.
I'll start off with my week 7 results. I'll go back to back week 7 and 8, and then we'll take yours. Week 7, I went up against Fraudulent Joel. And, I took a W for the league. We, put him back where he belongs. Huge. In the L column.
Huge.
My team didn't even really do that well. I mean, ETN and Jonathan Taylor were really the biggest contributors there. I got a touchdown from Michael Thomas. That was awesome. Curtis Samuel, I thought I was being savvy picking him up, but that was a fail. My team just did well. Sam Laporta consistently being the guy for me. It was just a solid all-around week. Joel's team didn't do well. Tyreek, only 20.3. Slightly under his projection, of course, but, a down game for him this week. And I just, had a solid performance all around. So my team consistent as well. I think just around that 90 range is like, for that to be a bad week for me is pretty solid. That's going to win a good amount of weeks still. So. Yeah, going into last week, though, I was far less fortunate. Sammy, we'll get into the standings later.
We've been talking about this.
We're going to get into the standings later, but Sammy's team is kind of like he might be one of the best teams in the league. I feel like he's the third best team in the league, honestly. I don't think
if he didn't start off 0-5, he'd be in first.
Yeah, I don't think it's a competition between like me, Yusuke, and whoever. Like Sammy's the third best team in the league. It's just a matter of where he seeds in the playoffs at this point.
If he makes the playoffs, too.
He was projected for like 120 against me already. And then his team went off, of course, on top, like over that. I just don't understand. My team didn't even do poorly, like 109, solid. I could have made some better choices with starters, Nico Collins. I don't really feel bad about not starting Jerry Jeudy over him. Alexander Madison, I don't know if I really trust. See, the one thing I will say about the Kirk Cousins injury, especially the next few weeks, maybe Minnesota does lean into the run game more. Maybe they just are a little bit more heavy with the volume. And I picked up Cam Akers recently. So I'm hoping that I can, if one of them is just getting – of course, Cam Akers got a touchdown this week, but got less touches. I was like, that was weird. But if one of them can, start to take advantage of the volume I'm hoping that they get, then, I need that to be able to be a flex option for me. That's one of the reasons why I feel like I need to try to move Justin Jefferson is I just don't have enough. I don't have a real flex option without him right now. Waddle can kind of be like a borderline wide receiver 1, 2. Nico Collins can be a wide receiver 2, but I don't have a flex really. It's so much better if all of those guys are pushed down and Justin Jefferson is the one, but right now I'm not there, and Kieran Williams is hurt too. So rough spot for me right now. Sammy is on a tear, and it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I actually played Sammy week 7 the week before. I got very lucky that basically all his good players were on bye. I mean, he had Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Adam Thielen, arguably 3 of the top 15 receivers in the league on bye. And, I mean, he still put up 100 points. My team obviously kind of did what they've been doing all year, kind of put up their averages. But I'm getting used to it at this point. It's a weird feeling, especially after last year, especially after the recent fantasy history I've had. It's refreshing, you know. The work you put in, it really does. It pays off. It pays off. But I mean, honestly, the thing I was most happy about is my running back depth in AJ Dillon. I didn't think I had any running back depth at all year, and I basically didn't until I picked up AJ Dillon. He's getting 10 points a week, which as a third string this year, that is really good for a running back. I don't really think he has value in the trade market, but just I mean, holding him on this week while I have McCaffrey on bye, it's gonna be massive. And once I get through this week, I don't really need to worry about buys as long as nobody gets hurt. So I mean, it'll just be good to have him on the bench as like a backup option. But again, I was just very happy with what he put up in relief. So again, big win over Sammy, but we move on. Week 8. Week 8. This game I was, getting back into things. We've been trying to reach new heights every week. This week was another example.
Yeah. If this all you're talking so crazy at like your team is doing great, but you got to keep this up. I hope for your sake that no one gets injured, that nothing happens to anyone's offense.
I'm an injury away from my season. Like if I lose McCaffrey, that's it. If I lose AJ Brown, that's it. I shouldn't be talking this much, but just with the numbers they've put up this year.
It's nuts though.
I haven't been worried in a fantasy game this year. These guys put up. The lowest game I had was last week, where I put up like 118, or maybe 3 weeks ago. I think I put up like 95, but 95 is still really really good.
Yeah, it's like you're talking crazy, but it's facts. Like your team is just been nuts.
I'm really not trying to flex. Something I do want to point out though that I am very happy about is I'm very happy that you dropped Josh Downs. Because I picked him up.
Oh, my God.
This man's just still been cooking. I was kind of confused why you dropped him.
I don't know what I picked him up for that 1 week, but I don't know. I just wasn't – I forget.
And he did well against me.
Yeah, I know. When he got a touchdown, like he did what I needed him to do in the game he started in, but it wasn't – I don't know. I don't know why I decided to drop him. I think I just wanted running back depth instead. I was like, I'm streaming. I think Waddle was out, so I needed to replace him, and I just wanted to stream that week, and I was like, I'll get him out of there. But that was a poor choice on my part, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, yeah, another week of fantasy in the books. We can look at the scores around the league here.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, Sammy beat Anthony. Matt L., as you can see, beat Joel. Fraudulent Joel taking another L, falling to 4-4. Back-to-back L's for him. Things starting to even out again. Here we go. This is where he starts picking up wins, so watch out for him.
Exactly. This is peak fraudulent Joel time right here. Everyone, there's a lot of 4-4
Be on the lookout.
teams.
Next week, I would guarantee a win. I would guarantee a win for him next week. Yeah. So then, obviously, Alex beat Yusuke there. Another loss for Yusuke too, who was 3-0. I ended up beating him, and then, I mean, things haven't been too good since then. I'm not saying that was because of me, but
you're talking about new heights though. Almost 170 for Alex's team. Nuts. That's
got to be one of the highest scores of the year. I think that might be the highest.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like that might be the highest the team has gone this year.
I'm pretty sure I got to like 150, 160, but not 168. That's God. And his team exploded, and he hasn't had anything like this all year. Like this is, it's got to feel good.
It was 1-6 before this, and then all of a sudden,
letting some anger out.
I know.
Talk about that, and then as you guys can see, another kind of surprising result. Adma took down Matt. I mean, I think the Mahomes flu game kind of played a big role. I mean, Matt's pretty Chiefs reliant right now, so just interesting that he kind of is all in on the Chiefs, but we'll see how it pays off. Best of luck to you, Matt.
Yeah, and then in the standings, obviously you're first place now, and with that Matt Cohen loss, you're 1 game ahead. Interesting thing, I think now though the league is really starting to get interesting about last week. Even though, a lot of the teams that were, I guess I lost, Yusuke lost, but we all stayed in the same spot in the standings pretty much. So 4 teams that are 4-4, now 3 teams that are 3-5 now. So this next week and the next few weeks are
Massive.
it's huge. Like there's a lot of, I mean,
pretty much every team is in it except for Matt, I would say.
Yeah. Matt, I think, doesn't really have a shot, but everyone else, like Alex, just dropped 170. You can't say that his team doesn't have a chance. Adwin just beat Matt Cohen, who's second place. Sammy has been going crazy.
We've been talking about him for a while.
Yeah, I was like, Sammy's been the sleeper team for a few episodes now. And then everyone else
sneakily.
It was like everyone else had a winning record before this. So it's just an interesting, everyone except Matt, is going to have a pretty, like everyone except Matt has a solid shot. I feel like you and Matt Cohen are like, y'all are pretty secure, but below that, it really is up for grabs at this point. So
it's, free game. I could not tell you, like right now, who I think will make the playoffs after me and Matt Cohen. Yeah. I think that's literally I wouldn't be surprised if it's Adwin, Alex, Sammy. Like those bottom 4. Like it could be any combination of you guys. I would not be surprised anyway. It's kind of just whose team is hot. Like it really comes down to that. And you got always got to watch out for fraudulent Joel, especially in weeks like this. So
I know this is
gotta look out.
They only have him at 60 playoff percentage, but this is like
that's kind of high. I mean, for
fraudulent Joel, but he'll figure it out. Going at the points against, just looking at that, he's still, I guess, wow, my points against are low as well now. I'm lower than fraudulent Joel, but my points low are like the same as his. So I feel like, or my points scored are like low as well. Like that, it makes my record make sense. I feel like I'm pretty on par with 4-4. Joel's just, scraping by week to week. It's not really
It's crazy. It's still wild to me that I have the lowest points against.
I know.
And
the most points.
That's just kind of, I got very lucky with my schedule, I guess, but it didn't really even matter. I mean,
I guess one thing looking at this with Matt Levin, I will say, even though he's last, he scored 838 points. Like he scored more points than me. So he's
low-key in 5th in points scored.
Yeah, it's like he's not
a bad team.
We got to give him his respect towards, the points against. He's having a rough go, but he's also, going up against good performances. So, it's all right.
Something to watch this week. Yusuke and Joel are going head-to-head. Fraudulent Joel and Yusuke. That's a match for the playoff picture. Like, whoever loses, that's not good.
It's a big matchup.
Yeah, that is. Anyways, let's get into our matchups for this week. You could start off.
Yeah, week 9. I'm going up against the last place, Matt, and I really don't feel good about this week. Like I'm not feeling confident. I have ETN on bye. I have Laporta on bye as well. Those are like both super significant for me.
2 of your best players.
Yeah, it's like literally 2 of my best players, and it gives me a lot of urgency with the trade again. So if you made it to this far in the episode, I'm trying to trade Justin Jefferson. I'll trade ETN, honestly, at this point. Waddle, if I can get a receiver back. Like, I'm ready to move. Like, we can get something done before Thursday. Like, let's do this now because I'm trying to beat Matt this week. This week is really like, Matt, in theory, based off of record, should be a week that I should win. Like, I'm 4-4. He's last place. I should be able to win this week. Losing this week, his team is good, though, and losing this week brings me down. Sammy, I was hoping to make a trade before last week to try to boost my team against Sammy. It wouldn't have really mattered much then, but I really can't, fall into another losing streak at this period of time. I'm 500 right now. I want to try to keep my head above the water and make sure I can get into the playoffs. So I'm going to try to aggressively do something to make that happen. So we'll see.
Win would be massive.
Yes, a win here is huge for me. So I'm going to be looking to make that happen. I'm excited about Jonathan Taylor's, increased involvement. Waddle against KC. I think this game will be a shootout, so I see him doing some more things. But Other than that, yeah, I think I'm going to probably end up streaming tight end. I am considering making a waiver claim on the tight end. I've been saving my waiver spot. I'm sitting number 2. I don't know. I'm thinking about using it. I'm like waiting to use it on someone who I feel like is going to be like the guy. Like I'm waiting for like a running back to tear their ACL and like I can be the guy who picks it up. But I don't know who it's going to be. Like I don't know what I'm waiting on really in terms of an injury. So I feel like I might just go for it now, but we'll see. And yeah, I don't know. I need to win this week, but it's a rough spot.
Must win. Definitely must win.
How are you feeling? You're going against so 1 versus 2 matchup this week. This is a big head-to-head, especially with you being one game up now. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, having the 1 game up feels amazing going into this week, knowing that even if I lose, I'm still in that 1-2 kind of safe zone. I mean, I guess Matt's in that. He's still pretty much safe if he loses still, but I don't know. I don't feel too comfortable. I think my team has some tough matchups. I see Herbert playing the Jets. I see Mixon playing Buffalo, A.J. Brown against Dallas, Goddard against Dallas. Like, I'm not too happy about the matchups that I have, and I know that after the down week that his team had, aka the Chiefs, they're gonna bounce back, and they're playing Miami, which their defense has been so. They do have Ramsey back, so I'm a little optimistic there. But I don't know. This is gonna be a close matchup, I think, and I think if I can get a win here, I think I don't want to jinx anything, but I'd like to think I could secure a bye if I can win this game. And I don't know. I mean, even if I lose, I should be in good spot. So I'm not too worried, but I mean, I'd like to get a dub here against Matt.
Yeah.
This is
I feel
a big
like,
one.
I mean, at what point I feel like you're close. You're like 1 or 2 wins away from like just actually just clinching your playoff spot. I feel like you're not far from it at this point. I mean, we're pretty deep. We're decently far into the regular season now, so you got to be
I think
close.
the reason why I haven't, I think, is because so many teams are still in it. Like, because if I lost out, and then some of those teams can still win out. But I think in the next couple of weeks, some of those teams will start falling off, and then I mean, clinching should start happening automatically, even if I don't win. So
yeah,
I mean, eventually it'll happen, but we will see. I'm hoping to get this win, but not too optimistic.
It'll be interesting to see. And yeah, we'll, I guess, go back a few weeks with our over-under post-mortem. A.J. Brown, we both were right on his performance. I forget, who are they playing against this week? I don't even.
That was.
We can. It was like, I feel like I should have.
They're playing Miami.
Miami. Okay. They were playing.
24.7.
Yeah, I was like, he went off against Miami. That much we know. He went over. We both went over on him as well. Ian, I think, said the over on A.J. Brown too. So we were all right there. He gets an honorary +1 too. Raheem Mostert, Ian and I both went over, I'm pretty sure. But, I know I went over. I'm pretty sure Ian went over. You went off the beaten path. You decided to go under, and it ended up working out for you. You were right there.
I rarely go under. Yeah. Really go under, but, I'll take the point. I just want to be different from you guys, I'm pretty sure, because I thought that would be a high-scoring game, too, and it's a little surprising that I didn't get in the end zone. But, yeah, then we got ETN going over. Who are they up against? I'm surprised I didn't say over, but.
You said, I was listening back, and I was like, what? They played against New Orleans, so you were saying that their defense was good.
The defense,
and that Jacksonville's
that was a Thursday
offense
night game.
Yeah, it was Thursday night. You said that primetime games have been low scoring.
Have been unders.
And that New Orleans defense is good, and that Jacksonville's offense has been inconsistent. And all of those things are true.
Right.
But ETN still scored 2 touchdowns.
He's been so consistent.
He scored 2 before this last week. He didn't score. This last week, he only got 1 touchdown. Boo-hoo. But before that, he had 4 consecutive weeks with 2 touchdowns. Like, ETN has been cooking.
That's nuts.
He's gotten over 20 points in 4 consecutive weeks. He's like, the bye this week hurts me so much. But getting him back, like, I don't know. That's another, look, I'm willing to move whoever. ETN has been super good, but I would love to hold on to him. And I think just the idea of like having him and Taylor. If I've got Justin Jefferson back, that would be sick. ETN's been crazy
Yeah,
this season.
definitely, definitely. And then the last one, I mean, this is just kind of ridiculous at this point. It was against the Eagles, as we mentioned. He goes 20.3, and the line's 20.5, obviously. So, I mean, you might as well just chalk that as some points for us. Like,
Listen back, all of us, we didn't even like talk about this one. All of us immediately just over. It's Tyreek.
oh, that wasn't a discussion.
Yeah, we didn't
I mean,
even
never
talk
with
about it.
Tyreek.
But
The year he's
you
having.
know, and it's not even like, and again, he didn't even have a bad game. He got 20 points. Like 20 points is sick for any fantasy. Like that's a wide receiver one. It just wasn't the 20.5 that he was projected. So, we took the L on that one. But still, I guess we both gained 2 points from that. We both got one right on our own, and then the first one we got right together. So 2 points for both of us going into this week's over-unders. You're still 2 points ahead of me, so I need to try to catch up with you this week. How are we? I guess we'll start off with my matchup. Devontae Smith going up against Dallas, 10.8 points.
Okay.
How are you feeling? He did really well against us last week. Got into the end zone. I think he got like 7, 8, 9 receptions. Like he is getting volume in that offense. But Dallas is a good defense. What's your take?
This is a weird one to me. I feel like this line of 10.8 feels low. And I kind of, even though the teams do have good defenses, I kind of feel like this will be a higher scoring game. I'm going to take the over here for Devonta Smith. I think they kind of focus on shutting down A.J. Brown, who's been cooking over the last, I don't even know, 6 weeks now, 7 weeks. And I think Devonta Smith has a sneaky good game. 10.8 really isn't that many. He's a receptions guy. And in our league, that's half PPR, so you'll get that with certain number of catches and yards. So, like,
For
I don't
sure.
even think he needs a touchdown in this situation, and I could see him going over. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, for half PPR, I was thinking over at the start, but I mean, for half PPR, he's going to get the receptions and the targets in this offense. I was thinking, like, for a second, maybe Goddard is like a beneficiary. Like, maybe, they focus in on the receivers a bit more, and Goddard ends up being someone who gets a few more targets. But Smith is still going to probably get like 7 or 8 receptions. And with that, he's probably going to get, 60, 50, 60, 70 yards. Like he's just off of volume alone and what he's been doing, I feel like 10.8 is easy for him to hit as an over. So I'll agree with you on that one.
Definitely. And then Chuba Hubbard versus the Colts. This is a tough one. Tough one. You can start this one off.
I don't know. I had to put this one in. I was like, I just need to put someone different.
A curveball. I like it.
For my over-under, and this is like a weird one. Their backfield, the Panthers' backfield is so weird. I drafted Miles Sanders way too. I was looking back. I drafted Miles Sanders. I drafted Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but the Miles Sanders one. Luckily, I got Hubbard with him, but I mean, now he's done better in that offense. Last week, he was pretty clearly the starter, but did not play very well. Going up against Indy, I could see him, potentially doing better, but I don't know if Carolina, I don't know if they give him the opportunity to be the starter again or what the game looks like. Like, it's a weird situation. I feel like it's a coin flip, really. I'm gonna go with the over here, just because I feel like I have to, I got to give you something here. I got to go with the over. I feel like just based off of the last game, even though he didn't perform that well, he did pretty much get all the carries. And I'm gonna say he gets into the end zone this game. He gets into the end zone at least once. He's going to have a performance that, I feel like he's probably on waivers in a lot of leagues still. He's going to have a performance that hypes him up, that makes people feel like he can be an actual option. I see him getting at least one touchdown and, having a solid game, maybe gets a few catches too.
Yeah, I want to try to be different, but I see the over hitting here too. The Colts have just been in high scoring game after high scoring game, and I mean, realistically, Carolina. I mean, not realistically. Carolina's offense has been getting better and better every week, and I think using Thielen and kind of mixing in the pass game is going to be. It's going to come to the benefit of Chuba Hubbard. And as you said, if he gets a touchdown, he should easily hit this. As I said, Colts have allowed a lot of touchdowns. I see him easily scoring at least a touchdown, getting over 8.5. All right, and now we could go into mine and Matt's matchups. Travis Kelce, this is a fun one. Do you think A, Taylor Swift will be at the game, and B, will this over/under hit of 15.6?
See, I think the answers there are tied together. That's the biggest thing. If Taylor Swift is there,
100%.
100% over. There's not even a question.
100.
This is like,
keep in mind, the game is in Germany. The game is in Germany. That changes things. Keep that when you're making your pick. You got to keep that in mind.
I mean, if it's in Germany, what is the level? Is Taylor Swift going international for Travis Kelce? Is
that's a big step, you know?
That's a big step.
Are you willing to bet on that big step? That's
exactly. I'm willing to bet on that big step. I'm willing to say that she's there, and I'm willing to say that Travis Kelce. But you know what? Travis Kelce's going to go under. She's going to be there, and he's going to go under. You know, maybe he gets some. You know, he's going to get some catches. He'll do well. But I don't see him. You know, I see him being slightly subdued. I see him being a little groggy in Germany. He's not going to be feeling himself fully. I think this game is going to be moving, you know, quickly. But honestly, I feel like after last week, you know, the Chiefs are going to be looking for a revenge week. But I feel like Miami, this might just be Miami's time to strike. We're acting like Miami didn't score 70 points earlier this year. We're acting like this is their statement game. Tyreek is getting to play again. Like, this is their opportunity to show that they are, like, the team this year in the AFC. I think that they're going to come out, they're going to hit him in the mouth, and I think that Kelce is going to struggle a little bit. So I'm going under. And Taylor Swift's not going to be there. Or she will be there. She's going to see him fail.
Bold. I like the boldness of your picks. I'm going to say that. I'm going to kind of go opposite of you for both, actually. I'm going to go not there, but he hits the over. I don't think that the relationship makes it that far. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a big step. If I'm Kelce, I'm a little skeptical with everything that comes with it, all the baggage, you know. But you know, it's his decision to make ultimately. So we'll see how that turns out. But as far as his over under 15.6, feels like that's what he probably averages at this point. And in a game against Miami, I could see this being a shootout. I think it'll be very fast-paced. If it's a shootout, Kelce should get the yard, should get the points, probably get a touchdown. And in that case, he hits the over. I kind of think Chiefs bounce back, kind of going a little bit against what you were saying, but I think they bounce back. I don't think they're taking 2 L's in a row. It is a statement game for Miami, and I do see them putting up a fight, but I just don't see Kelce and the Chiefs letting up another loss at this point in the season. So I'm going to take the over.
It's a statement game for both teams. I mean, that's definitely the game. It
really is.
Week. Yeah.
It's a measuring stick game. So they'll see really where they stand in the AFC there. And then AJ Dillon, over under 6.8. That feels very low to me. But it's also AJ Dillon, an RB2. One of my starting running backs this week, keep in mind. What will you be going with? Over, under here?
I feel like that over, or the like projection, is probably just like assuming Aaron Jones is going to be getting more touches, and they're going to be ramping him back up. But it's not like AJ Dillon's been playing poorly. It's not like he's been doing bad. And even over the past few years, AJ Dillon's had a pretty consistent, you know, value and volume in that offense. I think in the goal line, especially like with Aaron Jones just now coming back, I see AJ Dillon I see him getting a good amount of volume this game. I could see him getting a touchdown as well. I feel like the over here is a pretty solid guess. Maybe it's close. You know, I could see it maybe not being too much over. Maybe he only gets 6 carries, 20, 30 yards and a touchdown or something, maybe like a catch in there. But I feel like he has a solid game. He has like an AJ Dillon performance. Maybe I'm wrong and he gets 6.5 or something, but I feel like 6.8 is reasonable for him, so I'm going to go over.
Yeah. I mean, 6 point again, it's not that much. A touchdown and he easily hits this. I think you brought up some great points. Like A- AJ Dillon's been good. Been getting better every year. Like at this point in the season, the Packers aren't really that good. Like I don't know why they would be hammering Aaron Jones every play, especially when he's been dealing with injuries a lot of the year. I see them at least splitting carries, AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, and I mean, Dillon should be able to get 6.8. It's not that many. I think if it doesn't hit, he's going to be at like 6.3, 6.5, something right there. Like it's going to be close to the line at
Yeah.
least. It's just whether he gets those few extra yards. So I think it's a bet willing to take going over there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. We're through this episode. We'll see you all soon. Maybe like Devonta. I mean, like Devonte Adams. I guess we're gonna have to see you next week. We can't avoid it. It is what it is. We're
Yeah,
back. Um, yeah, hopefully we'll have some good results. We're both feeling iffy about our weeks, but we'll hopefully come back next week with some better news, and we'll chat with you all again soon.
definitely. Thanks for listening.